This section's titled, What Do Operations Managers Do? So once actual goods and services are designed, operation managers have to determine the best possible way to produce it. Now, a product includes all tangible and intangible features that create value for consumers. Processes are the activities that transform these inputs or the inputs into outputs, thus adding that value. Processes that are well designed help firms produce high quality products in an efficient manner. So there's that word again, efficiency. This gives firms a competitive edge over others. On the other hand, processes that are poorly designed tend to cause costs to increase and also produce delays and problems related to quality. This slide summarizes what operations managers do, or the functions of operations managers. So this is what they do when they're moving goods and services from the drawing boards to the final consumer. So they have the process selection and facility layout, facility location, inventory control, project scheduling, designing and managing value chains. So the best way to produce a product involves determining efficient processes. What's the best sequence that's going to make this move efficiently? And then, of course, the layout of the production and how we're going to distribute these products. So there's several ways to organize processes. The first one mentioned is a product layout. And this is used when firms produce standardized goods in large volumes, so like an assembly line. Then you have process layout. This is used when firms produce small batches of customized goods. So it doesn't require work to be performed in a particular sequence. It's more flexible than a product layout. Then you have cellular layout. This is used in self-contained production cells. It's falling somewhere between a product layout and a process layout, so it can resemble small production lines. And then you have the fixed position layout. This is used with production of large and bulky products that cannot be moved easily on a production line. The importance of each of these factors when determining facility location vary depending on the industry. Some companies have to locate close to customers while others may not. But here are some characteristics or items to consider: adequacy of utilities, land, labor market conditions, transportation factors, quality of life factors, and then legal and political environment. So you've seen where, maybe a company is wanting to open a new plant and they're trying to determine which area will best suit this company's needs. They have to think about these things. Of course they have to think about, is there land available, but also, what about labor? Are we going to have enough people in this area to work? Inventory are your stock of goods or other items held by organizations. And the optimal amount of inventory is determined by comparing the benefits and costs associated with different levels of inventory. And you can see here the benefits would be smoother production schedule, protection against stockouts and lost sales, and reduced ordering costs. But also you have tied up funds because it's not moving. So it's just sitting there waiting to be used where it could be used somewhere else. And then you're going to have costs associated with holding that inventory there, like storage. And then you have an increased risk of something happening to that inventory or it being stolen. So managing inventory well is critical to customer satisfaction and company profitability. Factors that affect inventory are many. For example, grocery stores only had 87% of their typical inventory in stock at the beginning of the pandemic because of the abrupt shift from consumers eating out. Interesting statistic there. All right, so critical path method. This is a project management tool that shows the relationship among all the activities involved in completing a particular project. Okay, so this is an important tool that helps operation managers. It's also referred to as CPM. And immediate predecessors is a term, and this is activities in a project that must be completed before some other specific activity can begin. And then you have critical path. This is the sequence of activities in a project that is expected to take the longest to complete. Activities on the critical path are monitored very carefully, and actions are taken to ensure that the schedule is followed. The design and management of value chains is one of the most important functions of operations management. So it includes all the activities ranging from the procurement of raw materials for production to when the final product reaches the customer. Value chain is the network of relationships that channels the flow of these inputs all the way through. So it's that chain. Operations managers need to examine the trade-off between outsourcing and vertical integration when value chains are designed. Vertical integration is the performance of processes internally that were previously performed by other organizations in a supply chain. Outsourcing is arranging for other organizations to perform some of those supply chain functions that were previously performed internally. So sometimes it may be better to outsource, and then sometimes there may be activities that need to be integrated. So these are two items that operations management have to think about and evaluate. Offshoring is the moving of processes previously performed domestically to a foreign location. Some of the factors in this to determine whether to offshore or not can include labor cost, land, availability of resources, and financial incentives. And then enterprise resource planning focuses on integrating information from all aspects of an organization's operations, thus helping the entire value or supply chain. So it helps manage activities along that entire chain.